Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sari and this is day 31 of the Simplify Your Life Challenge for 2022. This challenge is based on an ebook by YouTuber muchelleb. I will link her channel and the ebook in the bar down below. There's also a playlist where you can follow along with this entire series from the beginning. I will link that on the screen. With that, let's get into day 32 where we practice being present. Okay, so I've tried the whole mindfulness thing multiple times with varying levels of success. I think that some of it works for me, but the whole sit quietly and think about your breath and clear your mind bits, like the more meditation-y stuff, has never really worked for me for a lot of reasons. It might work for you. That's great. It works for a lot of people. It does not work for everyone. So I get a little bit, I don't know, like not upset, but there's a little bit of side eye when I'm reading resources and even this Simplify Your Life challenge and all of these things where the advice you get is, oh, you really need to do meditation and mindfulness, because that's not something that works for everyone. So the fact that every book you read these days on how to simplify your life, how to minimize, how to be more productive, all of these resources, it feels like we always come back to just do mindfulness, just do meditation for 5 minutes in the morning. And I'm sure that's really good advice for a lot of people, but for those of us out there for whom it isn't really good advice, I'm hoping I can bring a new slant to this challenge maybe. Because I think that the idea of being present in the moment is a great one. I don't necessarily think that meditation and mindfulness are the only way to get there. I think learning to be intentional is the best way to get there. And there are different paths to learning to live and be and do things intentionally. Whatever your feelings about and the relationship you have with mindfulness, there's always going to be some use in minimizing distraction and enjoying what you're doing right now. Not doing things mindlessly, but doing them mindfully is really good. It's kind of what the whole Simplify Your Life challenge thing runs on, really, because if we're doing things mindlessly, if we're mindlessly acquiring things, if we're mindlessly saying yes to stuff, if we're mindlessly spending our time, that's where this clutter builds up. Physically and mentally, because we weren't saying, does this have a place in my life? We weren't stopping and thinking about it. We were just making purchases because that's what felt right in the moment. We were just saying yes to things because it seemed like a good idea at the time. We weren't stopping and being present and saying, wait, is that actually something I want? To stick with the habits that we're setting up here, we do need to be mindful and intentional. And that does start with being present. The ebook starts with a quote by Eckhart Tolle that has some merit here as we figure out what being present means for us. So I will read that to you. Most humans are never fully present in the now, because consciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. In the ebook, today is really pretty focused on meditation. If you haven't tried meditation and mindfulness before, I think you should at least give it a go. It does work for a lot of people, and there are many ways out there to do meditation and mindfulness. It can be a guided meditation using an app, a YouTube video through some other medium, or it can be as simple as clearing 5 minutes in your day to sit by yourself in a quiet space and let yourself think about whatever your mind wants to think about. You honestly can even use the time you are in the shower for this. Just put the physical act of showering on autopilot and just let your mind wander or clear your mind a little bit. You might find that helps you set the stage for your day or for the next day, or mentally organize your to-do list, or solve some problem that your constantly moving brain just needs some space to work out on its own. The important thing, if employing that method, is that you shouldn't use that time to worry about things or fixate on things, especially things you can't control or things that make you anxious or things that aren't a pressing issue. At least try to come at this and say, if I am going to be worrying about whatever it is that I need to do today, I'm going to be solution oriented and I'm not just going to fixate and cause myself more anxiety. I'm going to take that 15 minutes that I'm in the shower and I'm going to be like, what do we need to do today? Let's get it done. Here's how we're going to get it done. Here's the plan. Motivation, motivation, motivation. Instead of like, oh, I have so much to do today and I'm not going to be able to do it and I'm never going to get anything done and I don't even know where to start. So I don't even know why I bother. And, defeatist attitude and negative thought and letting your negative self-talk and your negative beliefs surge up. This is the time for positive reinforcement, positive self-talk, positive beliefs, and say like, we're going to get so much done. We're going to solve this problem. Here's a problem I have. I'm going to just let my brain sit on it and think, and we're going to come up with a solution. You have to come at it with that sort of attitude because otherwise it's not going to do you any good. You're just going to be doing 15 minutes of worrying that you could have been doing at any point. The eBook talks about something that Muchelleb calls sunrise moments, which she describes as these sort of dreamy, magical moments where you just chill out and appreciate the world around you and you just soak it all in for a little bit. And that can be anything, really. Mine tend to be more sunset moments because I'm not a morning person. I love sitting and watching sunsets. It's the biggest, like, first world privileged problem that I have right now. But ever since I moved here, there are too many trees and I can't see the sunset and it makes me unhappy. I go like chasing sunsets in summer, trying to find somewhere in this entire metro area where I can actually watch a sunset, and I don't have that. I used to live right by a lake that had a big lakefront park and there weren't trees all around, and the lake was big enough that you didn't have a sight line to the other side, and the park was on the east side of the lake facing west, and I would just sit there every day in the summer and read a book and just watch the sunset. I have so many pictures of the sunset from that park, and I loved that. I loved those like 2 hours to 45 minutes, depending on how early I felt like getting there, that I just sat there and watched the sunset and appreciated the world around me. I miss those moments. I miss that. Like, I'm sad that I don't have a good place to do that here. I also love golden hour, right? Where the sun comes in at just the right angle and everything around is gold. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it when I catch that moment. I wish I was better at thinking about that and timing it and going outside to appreciate that moment. I love the skyline in the city that I live in. I love driving into that skyline, and it's just so pretty to me, even though it's a downtown skyline. There's certain views that you come at it from a certain angle and it's just truly gorgeous. I always try to stop what I'm doing when we drive past and just look and appreciate and think, what a beautiful place. It's these little things that are these sunrise moments. We all have them. if we look for them, if you stop, if you pay attention. Everyone has these little things that you just think, wow, that's beautiful, or wow, that's impactful in a great way, or wow, I just want to sit with that and appreciate it. Today is about learning to find these moments or create these moments or seek these moments or remember to go experience these moments by practicing being in the now so that when they come, we don't miss them. Here is the process as outlined in the ebook. Meditations involved. I'm going to warn you. We already talked a little bit about how it doesn't have to be meditation in the strictest sense. It can be whatever that means to you. Practice meditation for 5 minutes. If you can, get outside, get into a space that makes you feel calm, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel relaxed, that you can just sit in quietly and not feel bothered or rushed or uncomfortable in. Sometimes the best sunrise moments happen when you're away from your normal space. The ebook really wants you to do a more traditional meditation of sitting somewhere comfortable and focusing on your breath. And when you find your mind wandering, bring your attention back to your breath. And I think that's best if you're training yourself to be present in a moment. If you've never done meditation, that works, but it doesn't work for everyone. I encourage you to do this in whatever way suits you. The key here is to stay focused on your breath or on your surroundings or on appreciating the now and not to fixate on all the things you have to do and the things that are waiting for you and fears that are unfounded and like what's going to happen in this conversation I might not even need to have sometime today, or that conversation yesterday where I felt weird, but it's probably fine, but it might not be fine. And maybe everyone hates me. And all of these things that come up in your life, I think a lot of us do it. Focusing on where you are now and the space you're in and appreciating the moment that you're in, the stillness that you've created, even if it's just for 5 minutes, that's a really good way to learn to be present and push out all of that junk that doesn't need to be there. And just, even if you're like sitting in your house in your pajamas, appreciate that you have 5 minutes to sit in your house in your pajamas. Appreciate your new space around you. Find something and say, hey, I really like this thing about whatever. I really like this picture. I really like the view out this window. Whatever it is, take that and sit and think appreciative thoughts of gratitude in a way of your space and what's happening. You really have to stay focused. And that's the key. That's how we practice being present, is to stay focused on whatever it is we're trying to appreciate. Take that 5 minutes and just be. Set reminders to be present. These can be at key times, in the morning, at night, right before bed, during meals, so that you remind yourself to enjoy and appreciate your food instead of just mindlessly shoving it into your face without even tasting it. Just a reminder to slow down from whatever you're doing in your day. When the reminders pop up, don't ignore them. It's so easy to be like, ugh, I don't have time for that right now. I don't have time to take 5 minutes to appreciate the view out my window. I don't have time to take 5 minutes to take a break and stretch outside and think about how nice the weather is. I don't have time to get up and go away from my desk and eat some food in a space where I'm not also going to be trying to work and distracting myself and not enjoying this food that I made that hopefully tastes really good. You have to actually listen to those reminders. There's some willpower involved here, some self-control involved here. Stop, slow down, check in with yourself. How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? Do you need water? Do you need food? Do you need to stand up and stretch? Do you need to go outside and take a break from your current space? Take care of all of those things. Take 5 minutes to breathe. Appreciate the food you're eating, or the water you're drinking, or the place you're in, or the amazing things your body can do. I know that's hard because mine hurts 95% of the time, but it gets me a lot of places, and I think it's time for me to appreciate that sometimes instead of dwelling on what hurts today. So just make that space and do that. Breathe, take time out, and then go back to your day. That's it. It's that easy. Just practice these things, or these little moments of appreciation. Just bring it all in. And the more you do this, the more you're going to find yourself doing it. You're going to find that you do appreciate that space and those breaks, and you're going to learn how to be present in the key moments where you need to and want to be present, where you don't want to miss whatever it is that you're doing because you're so distracted by all of the thoughts in your head, or all of the things you have to do, or all of the stress, or all of the things that you're worrying about, or everything giving you anxiety. You have to force your brain to say, we're not doing that right now, and just put it where you do want to be. That's the best way to enjoy your moments of lights list. It's the best way to find things to put on your moments of light list, because if you're not being present and you're not slowing down and you're not looking for those things, you can't identify them as something that made me feel really good. So this is a practice, right? It's not going to happen right away. It's something we all have to keep working on throughout our lives. And so I really encourage you to keep at this, to do it after this video, not just in the next week, but forward as you move on your journey. Let me know how you do this. Share some tips. Share here's how I remind myself to be present and be in a moment. Here's how I feel when I do take that time out to be present and in the moment. Give me your stories about meditation. Do you love it? Does it work for you? Do you hate it? What do you do instead of it? What are your alternatives? What are your weird creative ways to say, this is what meditation means to me, even though it's not the strict definition of what everyone thinks meditation means? Share all of that. I'd love to hear it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to hear more from me, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.